Guess what came in the mail today? Patterns. Ooh. All is well. Oh, these look great. The other day I priced out how much it would be to print half of these patterns at Staples. Not even all of them, half. $160. I believe flabbergasted is the right word. But I remembered about a site where you could print out patterns, so I did that, and they came in like 2 days. It was a lot less, and I got more. Welcome back to the next episode of So Let's Get Crafty. Hey guys, it's Jess. What's up? Welcome back. I hope you're all having a fabulous day so far. I know I am for two reasons. One, I have geese earrings. They're wearing raincoats, bucket hats, and rain boots. I picked them up the other day in Houston. I was there for the weekend visiting family, and they are the cutest ever. Reason number two, why we're all here. I'm beginning to sew my summer wardrobe today. Down in the description, I will have the patterns I used and the tutorials that I'm following. And if you caught one of my recent videos, my pack with me for the Philippines actually might already be there when you're watching this video. These clothes will be coming with me on the trip, and it's gonna be awesome. And with that, let's get into it. First on today's agenda is a tiered white maxi skirt. I've been wanting a skirt like this for 2 years now. I just kept dragging my feet because I kept thinking, well, what if I just made one? And now here we are today, 2 years later, just making one. I was met with the perfect trifecta of opportunity. Exciting summer trip, finding this damaged sheet in my linen cabinet. We've got some nice staining. And three, one of my favorite sewist creators, Miss Sydney Graham, just posted video on how to self-draft and make one. Thus, perfect alignment to make the skirt. Now guess what? I did homework before doing this video. I did all my math, I figured out my measurements. I even already made my pocket pattern. When am I this prepared? It's thrilling. Okay. Let's get this laid out. I got this table from Facebook Marketplace. The girl was getting rid of it for so cheap. I think she thought that the table was just like going out because it was so wiggly and wobbly. And so when I got home, I cleaned it up and all it needed was the screws tightened and it's perfect. So I need two 8.5 by 25 panels. Clamping my fabric to the table. I'm measuring like 5 times and then cutting once. Top 2 panels cut out. Middle piece number 1 done. So many fuzzies. Oh my gosh! Because I'm still such a new sewist, sometimes I just forget, or because I haven't been sewing recently, so it's not top of mind. For example, today, I should have ironed my fabric before starting. I didn't realize until halfway through cutting, I was like, wow, this fabric is really wrinkled. I feel like it would be easier if it were ironed, and then it dawned on me, I should have ironed before. We'll see how this plays out. I think this is just a good example of you gotta try things and make mistakes and adjust from where you learn or for what works best for you. It's so silly looking. I've got my pattern pieces, my pockets, and my poppy. I just wanted to use an alliteration. Now has come the fun time, the actual sewing. As per Sydney, we're starting with the middle piece. Here she is, the prize fighting champ. Basting stitch time. So now we take this, we're gonna fold it in half. So we find the center point, teeny snip. Take our top piece, find our center point, teeny snip. This is gonna help us align everything when we gather. Nice.
Keep everything nice and even if you have kind of those marker points.
It's looking like this. And now we gather. That was quick and easy. I don't know why I expected this to take way longer. There's nothing better than when something is easier than you thought it was going to be. I'm going to pin this into place, well, clip it rather. Cool. And now we straight stitch beneath our basting stitch. The first time I did gathers, I must have been grabbing the front and back thread because I was gathering for what seemed like hours. I don't know. See how it looks. Cute. Now I'm gonna finish my edge. It looks so professional. Shout out to Stitch 14. I think the next step is I do the basting and gathering for this bottom tier. I'm gonna gather, straight stitch, attach the bottom to the middle, and then I'm just gonna repeat the same with the other side. So we're gonna fast forward to when all of that is done and we move on to the next part of the construction.
Miranda, I don't want to have to resort to this, but if I have to, I will play the post-it card.
Last night, amazing progress. I would have finished it, but I made a mistake with the pockets, and we also went on a little impromptu date night. I mean, we got home at like 9:30, so it was already late, but we just thought we would be able to like wrap things up. No, we got wrapped up. Finishing the skirt today. This is my back panel. This is my front panel. I'm so excited. This was so easy and so simple. I think this is a really great project, really learning and getting to practice different skills. Gathering, finishing off seams, pockets if you choose to add them, especially because Sydney's tutorial is so good. It just made the process really straightforward, easy to understand, and because it's a draft it yourself, it's obviously as customizable as you want it to be. And I'm so happy with how this looks. So the mistake I made yesterday was finishing the pockets together. They are supposed to be finished separately and then joined together later on. So I had to seam rip my finishing edge, which is way more annoying to rip out than a straight stitch. Ooh, actually, here's a good question. What is a TV show that you think is severely underrated and not enough people have seen it? For me, I would say The Bold Type. I love that show. It's on Hulu. It's based in New York City. It's about these girls who work akin to a Vogue type magazine. If you like 13 Going on 30 and The Devil Wears Prada, this is a tangentially feeling kind of show centered around these three girls and their life and everything, and it's a really good show. I love it. Actually convincing myself to rewatch it because it has been like 2 years. If you check it out, let me know what you think. A finished edge really does make everything feel so much more official. Can't have disorganized pockets. Look at these nice finished pockets. They look like chicken cutlets. Which way does a pocket go? Yeah, like that. Today is significantly less warm than it was yesterday, and it's such a nice reprieve because yesterday it was not slay. It was not slay. So I'm going down about 6 inches. Pockets pinned. Backside. Pockets on lock. Here we go. The straight stitch along the sides, attaching the front and back panel with the pockets. Everything but the bottom hem is done. So that means on to the next project. The next project we're working on is this style of scrunchie. It's so cute, it's fun, it's summery, and the bonus is it's very easy seeming to make. All right. Literally the moment I sat down. The tutorial that I'm getting inspired by is by a creator on TikTok called Neistadt Knits. And this scrunchie style I think is primarily inspired by this hair accessories brand called Good Squish. So according to Neistadt, we need 12 centimeters width by 100 centimeters length of fabric twice, and then 100 centimeters twice of lace, and then presumably elastic. I don't know if this is the right elastic. This just happened to be something I had in my stash, hoping it's fine. Close up on the details. This is some vintage lace that I thrifted 2 or 3 years ago, and I've been saving it for a project, and this is the perfect project. They look like little smiley faces. Also perfect is this black and white gingham seersucker fabric that actually used to be a jumpsuit that I used to wear a ton back maybe 2018 to 2021. And then I got tired of it being a jumpsuit, so I cut it in half and I have worn the top as a top, but I've just kept the pants as pants because I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. No, I don't want to make pants. They kind of have this almost balloon tapered fit to them. I feel like the design for this is that there's too much and not enough fabric in all the wrong places, which ultimately was why I stopped wearing the jumpsuit. And I think this also is another perfect use for something that I've just had. I got into a bike accident 2 weeks ago. Taking a tangent for a moment, well, I'm letting the pain dissipate. I was riding an e-bike and this lady stepped into the bike lane. Just stood there, she looked around, and in New York City, you don't stand in the bike lane. People are on bikes, and a lot of people are on e-bikes, and e-bikes go so fast. I was approaching quite quickly, she wasn't moving, so I went to go swerve around her, and there was another biker behind me, also on an e-bike, who swerved around me. However, the timing of it all and where the lady was positioned, along with where I swerved out of the way, the other cyclist who swerved out of the way, he ended up crashing into me, and I flew off my bike into a pile of wood. And I've never been in shock before, but I was in shock. The other cyclist came over to check on me. The people setting up for the farmer's market came to check on me. The pedestrian, the original cause of the problem, initially walked away. And then when the other two parties were checking in on me, she comes back and she's like, "Are you okay?" And in that moment, I was in shock. I was still trying to process what had just happened. And she just walked away. She didn't even say, "I'm sorry," but just left, went on her merry way. I'm mad about it now, but in the moment, I was just in shock. So I didn't even process it until after the fact when I got home. All this to say, I am so incredibly grateful that I had been coming from yoga. So I had my yoga mat strapped to my back, which braced my fall. So obviously I got hurt. I'm so incredibly grateful that it was not worse. Like, so many bad things could have happened. So I got up from the ground. I realized that my ankle was feeling off and was starting to hurt. I needed to get home, so I hopped back on the bike. On the way home, I just started bawling because I realized how bad it hurt and also how scared I was and how awful that had been. So I pulled over on the side of the road and I called my husband and I was sobbing, and he came and he ran blocks to get to me. And then he brought me into our apartment, and I was so afraid to look at my ankle because I did not want to see what it looked like. I started losing it because I was so icked out. So for the last couple weeks, I've just had this big wound on my leg that I've been trying to recover from. I couldn't be on it for a week because it had gotten so swollen. So I just had to rest and wait for the swelling and the bruising to go down because I could not walk on it. I got bruises on my back, on my butt, on my tailbone. And besides my ankle, the last thing that is still not recovered is my tailbone, and it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. But again, I'm just really thankful for being okay, because it could have been worse and it wasn't, and I'm very grateful for that. That's my bike accident story. If you come to New York City, do not stand in the bike lanes. You can pass through them, you can walk through them briefly, always double check both ways. I don't even think she was a tourist. I think she was just having her main character moment, and for some reason, even with the ample sidewalk, she decided to have that in the bike lane. Don't be like this lady. Don't stand in the bike lane. That's your New York tip of the day. Okay, let's get measuring. Oh, we don't have 100 centimeters. Ew. The whole thing is being very voluminous and full. What will I miss out on without those extra last 12 centimeters? Okay, I think that's fine. It's only about 4 3/4 inches. I think it should still be fine. And I will gain an extra 3 centimeters by unfolding the hem. I think the seersucker is gonna be really great for giving that extra voluminous look. The thing I like about ginghams and checkered and stripes is you can just follow a line, and theoretically, it should be what you need. Two strips. H-O-T-T-O-G-O. Today is crunch day. Today is the last day we are working on this video because tomorrow I leave for the Philippines for a month. The main day that I had set aside to film the rest of this video was like 4 or 5 days ago. And that day I felt so vastly unwell. It was just one of those days you wake up and you're like, oh, That experience meets seasonal allergies, I was a goner. So I just took that day to rest. I listened to my body. I've learned in the last several years that when you push yourself and you don't rest, when your body is asking to rest, your body chooses when it's gonna rest for you and you crash. And then it takes longer for you to recover from that crash than if you had just initially rested. I'm excited because we are finally gonna open these patterns. I have not even taken a sneak preview. I really wanted to do it together. This top one is massive. A separate video that I'm gonna do where I make a big voluminous balloon skirt, and it's really cool. I saw Carly B do this video, not with this pattern. She self-drafted it. It was really, really cool. But this will be for a video end of summer, early fall. The Celestia dress, that's such a pretty name. I'm gonna set this to the side because while I would really, really like to make this, I think it carries less practicality for coming on this trip versus pants. We are gonna do the lane pants next. This pattern will be cut out in 3, 2, 1. Nice. So there are some optional pieces on this pattern, the drawstring and a few of the cargo pockets. I'm gonna skip out on the cargo pockets for this gingham number. Now I'm pretty sure that Sydney has a tutorial on making the lane pants, so I'm just gonna follow along with that. First step, easy peasy, we gotta cut out the fabric. Trying to get a few things for TikTok. Headphones are going on, and I'm gonna get chopping. Love this fabric. It's time to sew. As per her tutorial, pockets first. So we fold at the notches. Something I feel like I've learned about sewing is that when something doesn't make sense to me and I don't understand it, I don't know what's going on, just follow the directions. It's for a reason that you will discover later on. Check the bobbin, check the thread. Good to go. Now we press. Not having an ironing board is annoying. That will also be something I do once I return. My mini iron. He carries a 9 iron. I carry a mini iron. Do you feel like there's an Etsy t-shirt of that somewhere?
Now we're going to attach the pocket bag to your front pant leg.
Front pant leg. Oh. See, this is what I'm talking about because I was like, I wonder how these things will come together. Like this. This is how it comes together. I've got my front legs and the pockets done. It took me a little bit because I sewed one of the pockets on backwards. So I since fixed that and we're all straightened out. We can now move on to attaching the backside. These super don't line up. Hers don't match up. It's supposed to be like that. See? That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you're sewing, you see something and you're like, this does not make any sense. This makes 0 sense. And sometimes that's the case, like the backwards pocket. But sometimes it just seems like it's wrong, but it's actually not. Oh, I forgot to change the presser foot. I was like, I feel like the way that the stitch is casting is a little bit something. It's because I did not change the presser foot. We're learning, we're building habits, and now I know for next time. Presser foot swap. Other side. And side 2 is done. Okay. We're at another point where I'm like, but what about this? And I feel like I just have to trust the process. Wait a damn second. This doesn't look like pants right now. This looks like it's gonna be a skirt. Wait, no. Wait, yes. Wait, no. Hold on. I need to pin this in place. So I know, so I can fix it, but it also might just be because I've never done this before and it's weird because it's the first time. All right, let's see this. What is weird? I'm glad I checked this before because I would have sewn the legs together and it would have been a skirt. We always check. I'm so confused about why one leg is longer than the other. I'm gonna stitch the rise, I'm gonna finish the rise, and then I'll be back. I have realized my folly. I don't know why it just printed like that where it was cut off. The separate pattern piece is a continuation of the pant leg. I feel like I can recover from this pretty well. I actually don't have to add all that much. My plan is to do the inseam and then do the waistband and then try them on and see how it actually fits and then see what I have to Frankenstein together. I do think that out of all the ways that this could have shaken out, this honestly is like a pretty all right way for this to have gone awry because one, I'm short. I don't actually have to add all that much fabric. Two, more importantly, the fabric is very busy and it's very micro scale. So my additions to the bottom will not be all that noticeable. I think, and I hope, it's just gonna disguise pretty nicely as the hemline. Figured it out, but I'm going to bed because I'm so tired.